Jewelry. Let us guide you through the ins and outs of what jewelry is best for initial piercings as far as material, styles, things of that nature. This is going to be a two-part video where in the next one we go over what you should be looking for when it comes to picking your piercer, even though we know it should always be us. So sit back, relax, and let us fill you up with some of that hot, nasty knowledge. Don't touch your piercing!
All right. So, Eric, what materials are going to be the best for piercings?
Well, there's going to be a few things, and it kind of depends on what piercing we're doing, you know. As far as when it comes to lobes, you're going to want to mostly stick to a flat back style. The biggest, most important thing you want to look for, I guess, are going to be some magic words that are implant grade. If you hear those words as a prefix for somebody describing jewelry for you, you can basically rest assured that it's going to be some good stuff. There's a lot of buzzwords out there that you got to be aware of, and those would be words like hypoallergenic, surgical stainless, things of that nature. Those essentially mean mystery metal, and or the person just doesn't know what they're talking about regarding their jewelry. And at the same time, really what, at least in our opinion, titanium is the ultimate king, because while there is such thing as implant grade steel, if a person has any sort of metal allergy, like a nickel allergy, which is the most common metal allergy, even implant grade steel could cause issues, whereas implant grade titanium does not have nickel, so therefore it won't cause those issues. But speaking of titanium, not all titanium is created equal. There's things like G2 titanium, aircraft grade titanium, but the titanium that is meant for body jewelry is literally the same stuff that doctors would use to like repair a broken bone with, you know?
Yeah.
And then there's also gold. Gold is perfectly fine to use too, but there is a big difference between gold that is made for, let's say, like rings and necklaces, and gold that's made to be worn in piercings. Body piercing gold contains palladium rather than nickel to help, mitigate those potential allergies, you know. And then another thing about gold is we almost exclusively use 14 and 18 karat gold due to how it's a little bit harder than other stuff, because something like 22 or 24 karat gold would be far too soft to wear as body jewelry.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be able to deform easily.
Yeah.
Things like even a simple snag.
Dab one in your lip and smile good enough, and you turn a ring into a D.
Yeah. Well, thank you for dropping some of that hot knowledge on us.
Yes, you're welcome. Thank you.
So now that we've kind of talked about what materials, what do I want if I want colored jewelry? Like, what if I want a blue ring for my septum?
Well, there's a couple options, but there's also a bunch of stuff to be aware of, because there's only one safe option, even though there are many options. If you go to basically anywhere that's not a professional body art establishment, you have to be super wary, because in most cases that stuff is going to be some sort of powder coat paint and things of that nature. And with jewelry that's got a paint on it, if that chips off, it could get into your bloodstream, which can cause problems. And the metal underneath is even worse than the mystery metal we just described. So it's almost guaranteed to cause some sort of corrosion, which that in itself can cause tons of issues. Really, like we said, the only safe way to go about coloring jewelry is with anodizing. Anodizing is an electronic process that creates an oxide layer on the jewelry. So it's not any sort of paint or chemical process that can harm you, which makes it super pretty. With niobium, we can do 32 or 33 different colors. In titanium, we can do 30 or 31. I can't remember exactly. And the best part about anodizing is that it's just awesome and it's fun to watch, while you get to learn a science lesson.
It is. It absolutely is. And I know our clients love to watch us anodize jewelry.
Yes, especially the kiddos.
Yes, absolutely. So now, what jewelry is going to be the best for fresh and healed piercings?
There's going to be a few options. When it comes to healed piercings, you're going to have a lot more options as far as what you can wear. You know, when it comes to fresh piercings, again, it depends on the body part. You know, for something like an eyebrow, you're going to want more of a curved barbell, almost looks like a banana. Excuse me. Same goes for if you're doing a navel piercing. You know, if you're doing something like a lobe, nostril in most cases, shoot, half the piercings of the ear or half the placements of the ear, it's going to be using what's called a flat back style of jewelry, which is nice and comfy too. So if you, you know, happen to roll over on your side in your sleep, which you should not be doing with fresh cartilage piercing, you should be using a nice little comfy airplane pillow though. But if you are rolling over on your side, you don't, at least don't have to worry about something stabbing you in the head or neck, you know. And then when it comes to rings, rings really just aren't good to use at all unless it comes to doing a Dathra septum piercing.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah, absolutely. So with all that being said, now let's take a look at some physical examples and let's show you all some jewelry.
Heck yeah, let's get into it.
All right.
Hey, you beautiful man.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Let's take a look at some jewelry here and show these folks what we've just been talking about.
Yes, absolutely.
Can you show us a little bit about what's up with them straight barbells we got there?
Yes, absolutely. So these can be used in a number of piercings. I'm just going to set these on this awesome Marty Bow print here.
Heck yeah, these are available for $20 at our shop, by the way, signed.
So with these being straight barbells, they're super versatile, and they can be used in a number of piercings. These ones specifically are going to be for like industrials, for example.
Sure.
At the top of the ear there, bar, two piercings connected to one bar.
Yeah.
And so with that, these can also be used in bridges, nipples, and other intimate piercings as well.
Yeah.
So they're super versatile. They're a timeless classic, in my opinion there.
Heck yeah. And they got some sweet anodizing like we just talked about.
Exactly.
Heck yeah.
So these ones are going to be super versatile there.
Nice.
And then, so...
Well, why don't you show us a little bit here? Let's take a look at these navel curves. I see we got some boo-boo ones that we don't typically use, so we can show examples here.
Yeah, so... Let me get these here, and then let me grab this one out here. So we got a few differences between these ones. So first off, you're going to notice the polish on this one.
Oh,
it's a mirror, and you can
take it close. Oh yeah, I can see myself in it.
Yeah.
Heck
exactly.
Yeah.
So you're going to notice that. That's going to be one of our first differences, and you're going to notice with these.
That's just nasty. You can see a bunch of scratches in it.
Yeah.
It's kind of dingy.
Exactly. So that's going to be a big one there. And the other thing with these is high quality jewelry, implant grade.
Yeah.
You're also going to want to look for what's called internal threading.
Yeah.
So you'll notice that there's threading inside of the shaft, and then you'll notice on the bead.
Kind of hard to get it on camera, but yeah, that looks beautiful. And you can see that chamfer on there, which makes it a bit less painful to insert into a fresh piercing.
Exactly. And with these are what are called externally threaded. So
here, let me try to zoom in on that, and then look, see, it's a tiny razors essentially. Those guys will cut you coming in or out on whether you're fresh or healed, won't they?
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So that's something that you definitely want to avoid there, and it's a big sign of low quality jewelry.
Definitely.
Another thing I wanted to touch on is this dangle on here.
Oh yeah.
Number one, that is just Snag City having that hang out there.
For sure.
And then number two, that's going to put a bunch of pressure on that piercing, and that's going to just cause you more issues with healing, and a whole bunch of other stuff that's not going to be a good time whatsoever. So yeah, we've got some super quality navel curves there, and then we have some not so great ones.
Yeah, and of course, snazzy print.
Oh yeah,
snazzy man.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, can you tell us a bit about these princess cuts and prong sets here? I know we didn't discuss ends much in our little talk earlier, but let's touch on that a tad now.
Let me grab one of each out here real quick.
Yeah, they are beautiful though.
We'll get these side by side here.
Heck yeah, you can really see. Take a look. Let me zoom in on that height difference. Yeah, you can see that the princess cuts are overall heck of a lot taller.
They are. And these are great for a number of piercings.
Yeah.
We can use them in a lot of places, but specifically I want to address the larger ones, especially the princess cuts. So with these, as what you were zooming in on there, they have quite a bit of a height difference. And with them standing up that tall, they're going to cause issues with snagging super easily, especially if they're in like an earlobe or a lip, something like that.
Yeah.
Whereas like the big princess cuts, I honestly like to use them in conches. They fill the bowl of the ear super nice, and having that stand up a little bit taller isn't a big deal.
No.
But where these round cuts are brilliant, as they're called, these don't stand up nearly as tall, and these are great in, I mean, your lips, nostrils,
wide variety.
I mean, so many different stuff. Anything you can essentially use one of these threadless pieces in, you can do it.
Heck yeah.
But no, either way, they're both great jewelry. They're both high quality, but some just may not be suited to certain piercings.
Sure. That makes sense.
All right.
Well, let's move on a little bit and let's take a look at some other stuff here.
Yeah.
We'll be touching on this stuff in a moment, but look at all this beautiful gold that we keep in stock from all the best suppliers. Well, Derek, since we're moving on, sorry about that brightness there, but what do you think about, let's talk about these surface bars and J-curves. I think, what can you tell us about those guys?
Yeah, so let me get these out here, and then I've got one other one I'm going to grab out too. So let's talk about those surface bars here first. Let me put it on this print here. All right, so with surface bars, this is what a proper surface bar looks like. You have two 90-degree bends right there.
Sure.
There's no curvature to it, and it's nice and flat right there, as you can see. So it's going to sit under the tissue very well.
Yeah.
And it's the only thing that should ever be used in a surface piercing.
Definitely.
A lot of stuff that I have seen come in has been curved barbells.
Yeah.
And curved barbells never work out.
Yeah.
And that's for a few reasons. The curve can place pressure on that tissue, and essentially it's going to act like a splinter. Yeah. It's going to push itself out, where you see these nice 90-degree bends right there. Yeah. It's going to sit nice and perpendicular to that tissue. And I mean, surface bars can last almost indefinitely.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
So that's an example, but otherwise this would be a great piece for an eyebrow though.
For sure.
These slightly shorter version could be used in a rook, anti-tragus, so many different places. So these are also very versatile as well.
Heck yeah.
But I also got out this J-curve here.
Yeah, kind of touching on from our last video to show an example of what a J-curve looks like.
Yeah, so with the J-curve, essentially what this is for a navel again, but it's for someone who may not have the anatomy for quite a standard navel piercing. They need to have one that's a little bit deeper. Yeah. And that's what a J-curve allows us to do, so that we get that look at the gem on the bottom and the top there. Yeah. And there's a lot of other navel piercings out there as well, and a lot of other jewelry, but this allows you to get that kind of standard look with it. Mm. So yeah, that's kind of the basics of what a J-curve is.
Heck yeah. Well, I mean, do you have anything else to show us, or?
I think we have a whole bunch of awesome clickers in here.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right. So now we have a couple more examples of some jewelry here. We have this circular barbell, horseshoe. They can go by a lot of different names.
Sure.
But again, implant grade titanium, and you can see that this one's been anodized.
Yeah.
And with this, these are another good one for a couple of initial piercings, not a lot of them. But for example, dates and septums, this would be a fantastic one for. With these, this one is internally threaded like that navel curve from earlier. They also have threadless versions, which are perfect as well. You really can't go wrong with either of them, honestly.
Yeah.
And then I kind of want to jump into some clickers.
Yeah.
So I have this awesome one here from Industrial Strength. Eric and I both love Industrial Strength clickers. You can see it's got a nice hinge there. Yeah. And then that bar that runs across.
Yeah.
And with that, you do get this nice little opening, and Nice little click shot. Not sure if you can hear that on the camera, but it's always a little satisfying sound there, I think.
Heck yeah.
And with this, these again are great in date piercings, septums. They work as initial jewelry or upgrades.
Yeah.
Either one, they work fantastic. And then I have another clicker here that I want to discuss. And this clicker is a little bit different.
Yeah.
So you can take a look there and you can see all those gems. Look super fancy.
Sure.
You know, something that you'd love to wear. However, if you look at it from the top down, you'll notice all those gems, they're the same exact size as that ring.
Yeah.
And when that spins through, that's going to cause a lot of trouble.
Yeah, that's why we stopped selling them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we pulled these from our cases right away as soon as there was an issue.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's just another thing to watch out there for, is even if it is in blank grade titanium, sometimes it may not be the best fit for the piercing.
For sure.
And then another one I wanted to touch on, since we're talking about dates and septums and all of those, is going to be a captive bead ring. Captive bead ring is actually one of the first pieces of body jewelry that was ever invented.
Sure.
That's why it's one of my personal favorites.
Yeah.
But with this, it's got a bead in the center, so the ring can't spin fully around in that piercing while it's healing. And again, this is going to be a septum, a date, things along those lines where you
really
can.
Yeah, really, that's all. Aside from a couple intimate piercings,
yeah,
you know, it's a debated topic, but in our house, we only rock the septums and dates for the initial rings, outside of the intimate stuff that is not YouTube safe.
Yes, and I guess again here too, this one's a black niobium ring.
Yes.
One of the only ways to get a body safe black piece of jewelry is with niobium.
And fire.
Yes, and fire. You can't forget fire. There's a heat treatment process around it, and this is one of the ones that we've made in-house here.
Heck yeah. Cool. Well, can you show us anything about our super snazzy gold collection that we have in stock?
Yeah. So, we've got a lot of different pieces, and we've got a lot of clickers, like we had talked about
different
before.
Clickers, different ring styles, all that.
Exactly. So, you know, these clickers, they're going to work fantastic. And then, yeah, we do have a few different ring styles here. Let me just grab out one here for an example. So we have what is called a seam ring.
Yeah.
And it essentially looks just like one continuous ring, where there is nothing additional to it. No bead has been added or anything like that.
Yeah, you can hardly see the seam on camera even.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to bring that captive bead ring over here, and as you can see, it's got that bead in there. So seam rings aren't preferable or should be used necessarily for initial piercings, because it allows that entire ring to spin throughout that piercing channel.
If that seam goes through, it's a bad time.
Exactly. And that's just going to cause irritation. It's going to prolong healing, all kinds of stuff like that. So that's why that captive bead ring is going to be 110 times better than that seam ring.
Yeah. Cool. What else can you show us?
So I've got another one, since we were talking about dangles over there.
Oh yeah, we got a couple that are actually acceptable for initial piercings in stock here.
Yes, we do. So I've got two that I'm going to get out here real quick.
Heck yeah.
Actually, I think there might be three in that one. But, all right. So, yeah, we do have a few in here that we would pierce with. These, for example, these little gold marquee fans that have that little dangle.
Yeah.
As well as that pear shape with the chain on it.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is these hardly add any weight to that piercing.
Yeah.
It's not going to be Snag City. And the same thing with these moons down here, the hammered and then the high polish there.
Yeah,
they also have those little dangles on there, which would be acceptable to be used in an initial piercing.
Yeah, for sure.
If you want to have a dangle, it can be done. It just can't be excessive like the one we saw earlier.
Yes.
That's really one of the biggest things there.
Yeah.
And then, you know, same here, we also have some other navel curves that have those dangles on them right there, which those ones are another one that we would wait to upgrade to later.
Yeah, definitely.
Because of the weight on them.
Definitely.
But
I think that about covers us for jewelry. What do you think, good sir?
I think you are correct. All right, awesome.
Cool. Well, thank you for all that information. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. Come get pierced.
Here we go.
All right. Thank you guys for watching another episode of Vibrant Shop Life here with Eric and Derek today. Don't forget to turn just like, subscribe, share with your friends, turn on those post notifications.
Also, when you come in and buy one of our super sweet Pikachu Charlie Brown prints, you will also get $20 off your piercing, and this offer is going to be valid until we upload our next video. So like Sir Derek said, make sure to like, subscribe, share with your friends, all those good things. You can comment down below, hit us up on our social media, facebook.com/vibrantbodyarts, Instagram @vibrantbodyarts, or if you want to just book an appointment to come get pierced by us, you can do so at calendly.com/vibrantbodyarts, and that is spelled CALENDLY.com/vibrantbodyarts. Thanks, y'all.
Peace, guys.